not bashing Richard Hart in the sense that like what he said in those tweets are factual, right? Gas fees are more expensive on Ethereum, but that's nothing that we already didn't know, right? People chose to continue staking on the Hex on Ethereum, continue buying Hex on Ethereum, mainly because the price of Hex on Ethereum was cheap, considering it was down 97% at the time, I think. And a lot of people, I think, were playing that as a trade, as a swing trade, to make some money on. And a lot of people are like, well, everyone's got their copies on Pulsechain. Yeah, but that's only true for people who have or had Hex before the snapshot. There's a lot of new people that come in afterwards that bought Hex on Ethereum. Like you said, a lot of people don't even care about the gas fee, right? Like, if you've got $100,000 to buy into Hex, for example, are you really going to care if you pay $100 in gas fees? No, right? And a lot of the time it's easier for people just to go onto Uniswap instead of bridging funds over and just buy Hex there, right? So there's a lot of people that lost money because they don't really care for the gas fees. They don't care about how much the gas fees are. They just wanted to buy Hex because they thought it was cheap, and they thought maybe with the success of Pulsechain and everything that's going on Pulsechain that it would pull the price up with it. So I mean, I think it's a lot of monkey see, monkey do, and there's not a lot of thinking for yourselves. The tweets that Richard Hart put out, obviously implying that one Hex is better than the other Hex, sure, but I think the early unstaking and selling at a loss was very unnecessary. I don't think that should have happened. Finish your thought.
So by seeing this and checking the liquidity pool in Uniswap analytics, we could see that the ratio of the token just almost went to parity. I've been talking about this for months since last year, right? And suddenly he tweeted out, right? He can do whatever he wants with a tweet. It's his page. He can take the what he want to do with his tweets, but and then we cannot go and say that the market decided. The market didn't. The market decided that we can have those two. We decided, right? Because we have been here onboarding people to the chain, onboarding people to Hex, onboarding people to different token on the Pulse chain and also on Ethereum. So we decided that the two tokens are good. So now the economic value, the economic energy start going. He by tweeting it, start going. All of them has been going to bullshit, and then crushing down the Ethereum side. Even though there are a lot of people buying it, right? Because they know Ethereum, and if that was an onboarding strategy, we can say it failed. Even though we know he's gonna pump it because it is not pumping EHEX, but pump the whole Pulsechain ecosystem because the money of the sacrifice is there. And even though they say, yeah, the sacrifice is not no expectation, he's gonna pump it with the same money because why he was buying Ethereum, right? So you're incentivizing people to go to the chain to go to Pulsechain, to interact, to buy, to play on it, but then you are buying Ethereum because you want to make a couple of percentage on it. So who's deciding? Is the market deciding or he's deciding?
Yeah, very very valid points. Like if you look at Hex on Ethereum before the tweets, it was literally on the verge of breaking out. The only thing standing in its way was the Bank X sell wall, which people think that $13 million of sell limit orders is a lot. It's a lot of money, yes, but in a bull market, it's nothing. If Ethereum breaks out, that sell wall's getting eaten, and Hex on Ethereum would have gone to like 2.5 to 3 cents. That was like the target,
100%,
right?
yeah, because
So the question is, why did Richard Hart do that? Because you're right, the market only decided after they were told what to do, right? It wasn't like they decided before the tweet. They all had the information. Like if they were really concerned about gas fees, they knew that for how long. That you don't need someone to tell you that Ethereum gas fees are expensive. You can see for yourself. So it's not so much the market decided; it's more the market were persuaded by something they already knew,
Exactly.
right? So my question is, why do you think Richard Hart done that?
Because it's one of the main things that I have been observing from his point of view. Because one thing I learned in this crypto journey is trying to understand the mindset of the creator or the owner of the project. Why? Not because I want to front run it. I just want to know what he's going to do or what that person is going to do. For example, I will take Jack as an example, right? I'm always trying to be one step ahead, even though I know they are doing stuff behind closed door I don't know about. But by observing their path, observing the way they have been moving throughout the years, I can create this point of view and then be like, okay, I'm gonna try to do this strategy because they're gonna do this. Why they're gonna do it? Because they did it before with a different project, or they did it before with some different, and now I'm gonna just adjust it to the way that I want to pursue my way into crypto or into the project. So now I have been observing his move, observing everything he has been doing, right? So for me, by seeing what he has been doing and trying to onboard people to the chain, so because remember, we have a lot of Hex Maxi, yeah. Um, I started, and I always say it. I started in Hexwin in 2019 December. In December, I started. I was in the lobby. I participate in the lobby. I participate in the big payday. After I received my token and I on early end stake a couple of my token, I did not receive it. I sent him a message. Right, he was like, "What happened?" Blah blah blah. All the kind of stuff. I've been through all of that. Why? Because I saw something. And from there on, seeing his behavior and seeing, and then they start tweeting about, yeah, if you guys knew, understand that the economic value and et cetera, is going that way and going this way, and all these yada yada yada. This he is talking about. I know he's trying to make a point of everyone can go to the Pulsechain side to go work, right? But when Hex was at 40 cent, 50 cent, everybody was celebrating. Nobody was saying nothing about a gas fee. Nobody was arguing about a gas fee because they were making money, right? So now everybody was making money, but nobody was talking about the gas are too high. No, because they were paying for it, right? So by taking this and then trying to use this as a marketing strategy to onboard more people to Pulse Chain, that's something different. He could have took a different approach to it by not hurting the price like he heard it like that, right? Even though they can say no, everybody's responsible of taking their own decision. People just go because he has a word, and people believe in what he said because a lot of people have been having success by following what he has been saying, right? So now everyone is following what he's saying, and if he said, okay, Pulsechain is going to be the best, let's forget about Hex on Ethereum. But Hex on Ethereum was the best thing before that. So now suddenly it's not a best anymore. It's the same code, right? You can buy it, you can trade it. So tell me, what is the difference? There is no difference. The code is the same. Nothing has changed. The only thing that's changed is the people that use it and the people that are standing behind it that want to change the narrative of it to benefit themselves. And if I go much deeper into what I found, because of all these wallets that I've been finding, and you guys can go back to one of the main videos I made, that I tracked down all the SEC wallets and all the wallet going with a SEC, and all the wallet that has been into Hex, also Hex, and I've been doing this for years. Why? Because my goal is not talking bad about it. No, my goal is trying to not front run. Let me say in a good way, trying to create a strategy that can suit my needs so I can understand how the metric of the token works, right? And as you guys know, you can go to my timeline. You can check all the things that I've been saying. Bunch of them came true, and bunch of them was nonsense. And from there on, I understood something. The whole argument about the exchange, let's forget about that, because there's 345 wallets on Hex that could easily dump it. 345 wallets. So the biggest one is not the exchange. So that's also an argument that people were like, yeah, let's throw the price down so the exchange can sell. The exchange is not going to sell something that they know they can make money on it. So there is no logic. If you sit down and analyze everything that happened in this period of time, you can understand that the data and also the argument doesn't follow up with each other, right? How does the exchange make money? The exchange makes money by market makers and market takers. That's how exchange makes money. So now, for example, there are people on the Ethereum network. They don't want to use Uniswap to swap it. What do you think they're going to do? They're going to search for the exchange where they can send the money to, and then they can withdraw from there, right? So the problem is not the exchange because the exchange make money on it. Also, the same thing, liquidity provider on Ethereum make money from people transacting. So what is the difference? So the problem is not the exchange. The problem is the way that he wants it to go. So if he want only Hex on Pulsechain to be worth it and kill all those two Hex, he can do it. He's the one decided, and he has a community that will back him up with all these maxis, right? Because they don't even think for themselves. If he said, let's jump from the bridge, everybody would jump with him onto the bridge, right? So if you sit down and just think about and just analyzing every step of this our journey into in Hex and journey into crypto, you will understand there will always be better ways to do stuff. And when someone just want to do it one way, and you of course you have a group behind it that support it, nothing is going to change that. It will stay like that forever. And then we will have the same thing that happened with Hex, same thing will happen with Pulsechain. Why? Because we don't want to change the way we see the world, because we want the world to see us as we want it to be seen.
Some very good points.
I'm not
there.
angry, guys. I'm not angry.
Right.
I'm not angry.
No, you're absolutely right. Like it's the same code on another chain. Yes, there is a difference in price, but I think, like you said, the argument about gas fees is not really an argument. I don't think that's really plays a factor in any of this. Most people don't care about the gas fees on Ethereum.
Let me debunk one more thing. Let me debunk one more thing. EIP4, what was it? The EIP4 that he said that the validators are making money of the transaction. It's not true, because remember that Ethereum is deflationary. So tell me, if I don't do my research, if you don't do your research, we will just follow what he says. But it's not the same thing with blockchain too. That the validators all make money with the transaction fee because it's a proof of work, proof of stake. Sorry, and the minimal fees that Ethereum is making is because of the state of the validators, and it's like minimal. It's like 0.36% that the validators are making, and the rest is getting burned. So that's why people need to do their own research. People need to go on and start researching and read stuff. And you have ChatGPT to ask him a lot of stuff. So make the stuff easy for yourself. You know.
Agreed. Kool-Aid, you have your hand up there. You want to speak?
Yeah, I was wondering if Professor did, or Profeta, if you've done an analysis on where those wallets are going. I started to do a little bit today, and it looks like, give or take, like these are just round numbers I'm looking at. It's 20% USDC, 46 something percent is in ETH that's swapped from EHEX, and a lot of the liquidity providers are pulling, and then only like 6% bought PHEX with it, and it looks like the majority is buying Pulsex and Pulse with the other percents, but it's mostly just buying Ethereum and USDC for like the bigger percents.
And why do you guys think he's buying Ethereum? Why do you guys think he's buying Ethereum?
Because
I think is, right?
Yeah, it's that, and like, what's the point of holding something RH is going to FUD? Even to go over the bridge is $50. It's like, what's the point? Just take the free capital and put it in ETH and let it ride.
Exactly.
And it's funny because the ETH fees, he was complaining about, what was it, $48 million worth of ETH fees, but that one tweet just nuked like $600 million off of EHEX. So, and he bought
$95 million worth of Ethereum. Yeah. So one side is nuking the price, and one side, and listen, guys, if you can just research this, just go on go to Dex Screener and go to the section of the token that was sold, and then click on the filter side. On that filter side, drop down and then put the amount of how much money has been withdrawn. You can see it like sold, and then you can paste how much there were, and then you will find a lot of these wallets, and then you can go back on these wallets, go back to Etherscan, paste it into the hex into the Etherscan, and with the hex token, go to the holders, and then there you can drop on this on the search bar, deposit the address, and then you will see the transaction of a couple of the top holders are selling. You can go find it. It's not FOMOing. It's nothing. It's there on chain, and that's good about on chain. You can find everything on chain, right?
We're
So
about to get a first $1 billion worth of, or billion hex worth of penalties today. It looks like it was almost pushing $1 billion the last time I looked, and that was like 2 hours ago. So people are just end staking and immediately just dumping it.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you guys, because I see that the majority of the money that's coming over the bridge is going into Pulsechain, PLS, and PLSX, not really going into Hex. There was an initial
PLSX flipped PHEX.
Yeah, I see that. So my question to you though is, what hasn't been bridged over? So whoever got out of their Hex position on Ethereum, how much of that is being dumped into Ethereum or stablecoin? So and not being bridged over, so being
From what I've
kept on the
seen, it
Ethereum
looks
side.
like 20% is coming back in, and 80% is just either sitting there waiting or it's in Ethereum. So everybody's just dumping and not bringing it anywhere. 20% is coming in, give or take.
the majority of the holder that are selling are taking the same approach, and they are going to what's the name of this lending protocol again?
Maker
No,
down.
no, 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 no. It's going to the
On Ethereum, that's liquidity.
no, 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 no. The last one that the sacrifice wallet did. Uh,
Liquid
Spark.
on Pulsechain, it's
Spark.
liquid loans.
Yeah, yeah. But on Ethereum, it's Spark. Spark.
Spark, yeah.
So the majority of the holders are doing their, going to Spark, lending their money there because they know that a lot of them know already that the Ethereum ETF is going to be approved. So we are getting the same effect that we got with Bitcoin. The same thing we are going to see with Ethereum. Why?
Shitty thing I don't like is the fact that, like, even if a whale wanted to come in and buy up the EX price and just do like another god candle, Richard being Richard, I think he'll just suppress the price forever. If he can extract value out of EHEX and bring it to Pulse Chain or something, I think he would do it. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, he has thousands of hidden wallets, so I mean that's very plausible.
So that's also one thing. So the main game is, so yeah, let's be on Pulsechain. So let him bring the value to Pulsechain, and for every transaction that has been done on Pulsechain side can benefit his wallet. I mean, it's
Yeah, but it still breaks up the whole ecosystem. It's weird because, like, everything's supposed to have a use case, and now nothing has a use case because everything's getting slushed around so much. Like, literally PLSX, incentive token, and whatever else, it's all just meme coins. There's no, like, actual utility behind any of them. And Hex technically had utility because it had, like, the staking feature, plus it had the T-share, so it had, like, some type of, like, story behind it where you could kind of, like, gamify it and predict and do this and do that. But now all that got thrown out the window. Like, what's the point of being in something when it doesn't pump over 5 years in crypto? What's the point? Like, just buy PLSX. It's gonna flip. It has a buy and burn. You know what I mean? Like, what's the point of being in this? What's the point of staking? What's the point of doing any of it? It makes no sense. Go buy SHIB. Like, I don't get it.
I absolutely agree. I was saying to my cousin earlier, I was like, the only utility Hex had was the staking feature, which is now like whatever. Like, I don't think many people are gonna look at that and be like, oh, this thing's got utility and it's got a future because of the staking feature. PLSX is definitely more appealing because of the whole buy and burn function and just the hype behind it. PLS is the gas token. Ink is just a rewards token. It's pretty much a meme token.
It's all a meme.
So
That's what I'm saying.
it's
It's like
We could have
like
but
taken an approach and say, you know what? Let's make it a meme chain,
let's
and the
make
fee was
Hex
I
Classic a
mean,
meme token.
Richard's already doing that for you. You don't need to take the approach. He's doing it all by himself.
I think it's wrong that if people fade Hex, though, I think Hex is going to surprise a lot of people. Hex on Pulsechain.
Yeah, but
Oh,
like, what does that even mean? Like, you're already 490 days into a bull cycle, and everybody's like even. Name me one other crypto that's done like XRP. I think like
Yeah, XRP.
what doesn't do double tops XRP,
Yeah.
and what like pegs a quarter XRP. Like I don't know. I thought Richard was better than XRP, but maybe not.
Well,
Um,
Hex pumped behind Bitcoin last time, behind the rest of the market. So Hex will pump after the rest of the markets through this time.
yeah, because the money came from
you
Ethereum.
say that,
The money
but
came from Ethereum, and that's one thing I was explaining to a lot of people, and I made a video about it. The thing that was the main talk was Hex is decorrelated, right? But it was not even
yeah, but
decorrelated.
even
The
that's a like
Yeah, that's
the Hex came up before the bull cycle. That's the thing. Like we had the Black Thursday event, which was the bottom of ETH being like 85 or 95 bucks or whatever it was. That was like I think that was day 30ish of Hex A lobby, day
Yeah,
30 to maybe 60 give or take. That was like the big dip of everything, right? Bitcoin went down to like whatever it was, like 3K or something crazy, or 5,500. I can't remember what it was, but I remember ETH was 95, and yeah, so we had that, and
When my
then out
bag's
of
gonna
that,
get
that was
pumped, my friends?
that was
When are the
that was the very
bags gonna
first
get
day.
pumped? I need the pumping
Never,
to happen.
it ain't happening, Pete. Go buy some Kool-Aid,
everyone's just relying on Richard Hart to
I
pump
am
their
relying on
bags,
Richard
which
Hart
is
to
pretty.
pump my bags. You are correct.
You,
and that's
you
disgusting.
shouldn't rely on anybody to pump your bags.
Please pump them.
Yeah, I think the only way Hex on Pulse Chain is ever going to really like do any major moves is if Richard Hart pumps it, which I think he's going to. But I don't think there's any demand for it.
no.
Like
Now he has to
literally,
create one. Now he has to create one, right? Even we have been seeing a lot of meme token being so popular on Pulse chain and yeah, okay, more chain and stuff like that. But because we're talking about Hex today, so let's keep it about Hex. Um, Even though we have been seeing a lot of meme
What?
tokens have been exposed on Pulse chain and being very popular within the ecosystem, even those are outperforming Hex. If we are going to talk about outperforming, right?
oh, 100%. But that's the same on any chain. Altcoins on Ethereum are outperforming Ethereum by hundreds of X's.
Exactly, exactly. So the thing is, it lost the whole thing. Of course, a lot of people are waiting for Richard to pump the bag, and I've been telling a lot of people already about this way before. We don't have to wait for Richard to pump the bag. We have to create ourselves. Because what if he dies, right? So that's the main thing. People are too lazy to relying on someone to pump their bag because it did it once. Now people wanted to do it again, and that's the main reason why Hex died in the last cycle. You guys need to understand that it dies because people was relying on him pumping the bag. And the same thing is going to happen with Pulse Chain because people are relying. That's why I'm trying to onboard more people, not based on Richard pumping our back, but just for the fact of being on different chain, learning about the chain, making money on the chain because you can make money on it, right? But people need to understand I don't have to wait for Richard to pump my bag. I don't need to wait for him to do it. I can do it myself. And that's the main thing. We have been too much depending on him for him to pump our bag. It doesn't have to be like that. That's why we are seeing a bull market. We have been seeing all this bull market all over, and we are waiting because heck, Richard, I was waiting for Ethereum to dump.
I want to pump my bags, please.
He's going to do it. He's
Well,
going to do it. He's going to do it.
with with Pulse Chain, it's like you said, everyone is waiting for Richard to pump their bags, and mainly because they don't know what to do. Like people like us, we've been in this industry for a very long time. I'm in multiple chains. I'm not just all on Pulsechain. Like I trade on Solana, Ethereum, all these other chains. I know how to trade and make money, but the majority of people do not. And if you look at the stats, the majority of the sacrificed funds that went into Pulsex, that sort of the people that are holding Pulsex, they've not moved their coins since the beginning. And Pulsex has underperformed up until now, up until the other night when $15 million went into Pulsex. It has underperformed everything on Pulsechain. So while everyone is sitting in, or not everyone, the majority of people that sacrifice for Pulsex are just sitting in Pulsex for over a year, Pulsechain, PLS, Inc., all these meme coins and all these other coins on Pulsechain have been doing mad numbers. And most people are just sitting in their PLSX still. So that shows you that, that those people don't know what to do. They haven't even transacted their PLSX, not even a portion of it into PLS or anything else. They're just sitting in Pulsex waiting for Richard Hart to pump their
I'm doing
bags.
that exact thing. That's so ironic. That's
Well,
exactly what I've done for the last
it's
2 years.
not that it's a bad listen. It's not that it's a bad strategy because it's going to happen, but it's just
That's all
we're
I've
just
done. I didn't even I sacrificed on day one for Pulsex and didn't look at it for 18 months.
yeah. Well, if you had swapped that into PLS, for example, you would have, and you could have swapped back into PLSX and had way more.
I didn't do that.
No, most people don't do that.
I'm just sitting here
And
waiting on Richard to get off his fat Gucci ass and do something.
Yeah. So that's the education part that a lot of people lack
He
in.
literally told us, he literally spent a month of his time talking about his PP. He literally did that for a month. Remember, he was marketing his PP and we listened to that. You have any idea how stupid he's made people feel? Invest at your own risk. But can the fat man get off the couch? You know he's eating food. You know he's stress eating. And you know that's why he's not coming on TV. His titties have gotten bigger. He's running from the SEC. And here we are.
yeah, I think that whole SEC
I'm going
case
to talk about my
is
PP
nonsense
because
It's
anyway.
a
Richard talked
nothing
about
burger.
his.
It's a nothing
My
burger.
PP is so big. It's so much bigger than other people's PPs. Buy Hex. I love Hex in my PP. He did that for 2 months. He did that for 2 months. He owes the community some redemption. Die like a man, not a coward. He's running and he's hiding like a coward.
How is he running? Why do you keep saying he's
Yeah,
running?
where's he
You haven't
hiding?
Not
said
on
something else.
live streams anymore.
So
He was on a live
he
stream
doesn't
telling me
have
how
to
big his
live
PP
stream.
was.
Yeah, but it's not. You know he doesn't
He doesn't
have
have
to
to do
live
anything.
stream for us. He
If you'd
chose
like to
to.
stand up for your, if you'd like to participate in Stockholm syndrome, feel free. But this is a symptom of it. Is when people defend the abuser.
I'm not
Okay, fair
defending him
enough.
at all. I'm being
Me
critical
too.
of him. I'm just saying it's not up to him to pump your bags. It's not up to one
Exactly.
man
It
for
was up.
you to make money. You need to make your own informed
I
decisions
hear
on
you.
things. It's
No, I
not.
take full responsibility.
I am not
No,
defending him. I
I
already
take
said I don't
full
think.
responsibility for my participation in his product.
Great.
Unfortunately, it didn't work out as he planned.
It's not over yet.
Well, that's true.
I mean, I don't know about everyone else on here, but I'm up a lot from
Exactly.
my investment. I didn't sacrifice. I got in mainly into the ecosystem after the
CC.
SEC dump. So
Okay,
I'm
listen.
not complaining in that sense, but I see people's frustration
If
that
you weren't in,
sacrifice.
okay, if you have a different starting point than I do,
Mhm,
right? Then you have a different
mhm,
experience.
correct.
But I could buy today and have the same experience anyone has, right? Like the price is low enough where you can see returns. The problem is he's lost something called consumer confidence. And that's business. Is when you put out a bad product that doesn't perform, people aren't confident in buying it.
So
And that's what
just
we have to change. We
so
have to change.
just sell and move on then. Just capitulate and move on then.
Excuse me. I'm not asking for your financial advice. We're talking about you're sticking up for Richard Hart.
I'm just telling
No,
you,
you're
if you don't like
telling,
it, you're free
sir,
to sell at any
sir,
time and leave. That's all I'm
sir,
saying.
sir. That is an option. That's not the topic of the conversation. I understand I can sell. I'm well aware that I have the option to exit the market. Thank you for reminding me.
You're welcome.
Okay. If that's how you communicate with people, you're not going to go very far with your bags, because you need people to buy.
I don't need anybody to buy. I'm just saying you came in here and you're
Markets
saying
don't
all
work.
this stuff, negative stuff. But
This is all true. These aren't
in
negative.
the next sentence you said if you buy now, it's cheap enough that you'll see price appreciation. So I mean you kind of contradicted yourself.
No. What we need to see is that that Hex reputation. This is like a pack of cigarettes when you're 10. You shouldn't smoke. Some will, some won't, but you shouldn't smoke. And the reality, what I'm trying to make a point is, Richard did talk about his PP for 2 months. Richard did twerk all over the place with a $500,000 clothing on. Where do you think that money came from? Where do you think it came
That
from?
was like 2 years ago. Now he's humble, right? He's the humble Richard now. So
Yeah.
that was
Humbled Richard. You mean
outrage
when
marketing.
somebody showed up to his house with a couple of guns, took all their money back from him? Some people in this world don't let that shit rock. And Richard made it very clear people were stalking him. And listen, every high level criminal had a fucking circle around Richard's face if they could get him. I guarantee you a couple did. Guarantee you.
And it's not the first time. So yeah.
The reason he's not showing his fat chipmunk ass anymore is because he's scared. Somebody got to him.
Do you think that's because of the SEC or
I
because
think he got
people in
robbed.
real life?
I think he got straight up robbed.